How did y'all not know that this is fake? If you were going to pay me $500,000 to fake fight you and I looked quote unquote like an idiot on the internet, I'd take it in a heartbeat. Welcome to Her Sports Convo with Ashley Wilson. Hey y'all, welcome back. Crazy to see you here again. I hope you had a good week last week. I hope you have a good week this week. For y'all that are only listening to the podcast, this week I decided to actually post the video of me recording. I've been doing this for a while, trying to get used to talking to the camera. I really got used to just like talking to someone, like as I've been doing this for like almost 7 months now, which is insane. It's been different. It's been strange, but I just feel like there's always someone on the other side of the camera. So the fact that there is now a camera here and I'm not kind of like envisioning people being there, it's a little different. But I've been doing this for like the past few weeks, probably almost like 2 months now, just to get used to it, because in the summer we're gonna have some fun stuff coming out, y'all. I can not wait until that happens, but we're almost there. I only have about 2 or 3 more weeks left in the semester, and Jesus, I cannot wait because it's gonna be good. But y'all don't really care about that stuff, so let's get into what you came here for. And I would be doing all of us a grave disservice if I did not start off talking about how Lakers Twitter got catfished. Oh my goodness, if you don't know, now you know. Like, how does an entire organization fan base get catfished? Now, give us a little backstory on Vivian. She was this like person on Lakers Twitter. She was like she was a podcaster. She was very known on Lakers Twitter. Like, everyone liked her. They talked to her. And a lot of, men were big fans, big followers of her. And over the weekend, it came out and it was spreading around like Lakers Twitter, like, oh my god, Vivian, she's went missing, no one's seen her, all this stuff. But on Monday afternoon, Monday night, something like that, it came out that Vivian's a catfish, and the guy that was always like responding to her comments and like talking to her back and forth, he was the one who was in control of the Vivian account. Like, when I saw them, I was like, how did y'all not know that this is fake? Like, you did not need to call Neve and Cammy from Catfish to figure out that this is not real. This is it was so blatantly obvious. Like, some of the conversations would be like, oh, I'm, good game. Can't wait for the Lakers to be back home. Or, I'm coming up to a Lakers game. I really miss being home. And like a picture of Vivian, quote unquote, being at the Lakers game. And like, it was insane. And then also it turned out that the Vivian girl, person, I don't even know. The Vivian like handle name, it was an actual person. And the guy who was like pretending to be Vivian, like, did one of those face app things and like combined his face with her face, so like people wouldn't like be able to easily reverse image search that was like not the same person they were doing. And they also, on one of the pictures, like put a jersey on her in like an international uniform and used her first name, like Vivian, because that was like all her handles on Twitter and stuff was her first name. And again, like, I saw them for the first time because, like, I'm not, big on Lakers Twitter. Like, the Lakers are cool, whatever, they're whatever. But, like, I'm not that invested, as I'm not invested in most sport teams. I'm just here for a good time. I'm not a deep dive fan of anyone. But, like, it was so obvious. I'm like, yes, I've watched an unnecessary amount of Catfish episodes. But you don't even need to, I feel like if you're just a regular person who knows how the internet works, you knew that was real. And the fact that y'all fell for that is completely insane. If like you're listening to this and you didn't know that was like a catfish or whatever, please comment down below or send me a DM or something and tell me how you did not know, because it was so obvious. But I woke up, I'm recording this right now on Tuesday, and I woke up and like Twitter was going off. It was like, Vivian's a catfish, and how didn't we know Vivian was a catfish, and oh my god, this. And like, it was 7 o'clock in the morning when I woke up, and I'm like, why do I have all these like notifications? Like, what is going on? And it turned out that the girl, quote unquote, person who was missing was fake, and it was a complete catfish, and it was a scam. And I just feel like the fact that that was like leading news in the sports story, especially on like the NBA side, just shows how bad the NBA is this season. I mean, they're not bad, but it's like, who's really watching the games? I feel like if I took a poll, or if I like guessed how much time I've been watching NBA Twitter, NBA Twitter, how much time I was actually watching NBA games, I would say it's been around, maybe over the past 2 weeks, maybe I spent 30 minutes watching a game. If it was a close game, I watched like the last 2 to 3 minutes. I definitely haven't seen the beginning of any games. I did watch the Nets game where Katie hurt his leg again, but that was about it, because I truly feel like every time I watch a game, some star player is getting hurt. Like the last I watched the Nuggets, and that was the game that Jamal Murray hurt his leg. And I said it once and I said it again a few weeks ago, how the NBA just really messed up with this like 2 week, it wasn't a 2 week break, but it was like a 2 month break. And the players' bodies, they're professional athletes. They need to rest and recuperate and all this stuff. You know, you can give them this crazy schedule, and that by the time the season comes around again, they're not going to be tired. And all these injuries are because you have these on this crazy schedule that they're playing back-to-back games and no one's really getting a night off. And it's insane. It's so insane. And they're shocked that their views are down. Like, yeah, your views are down because Clint Capella is a very good basketball player. But no one's going to tune into your basketball game if your headliner stars are Clint Capella versus, I don't know, some random person from the Oklahoma City team. I mean, I love Miles Bridges. He plays for the Charlotte Hornets. But you don't see him being the star of the team, and he's been up there for like 5 or 6 years. Again, no shade to Miles Bridges. But there's a reason why every time the Charlotte Hornets came on TV when LaMelo was still playing, LaMelo was the tagline, the star of the show, and everything. It was the reason. That was the person they're trying to sell. That was the star of their team. And now they don't have that, and they're struggling. The NBA is struggling. So the fact that the catfish of the week was the main story of NBA Twitter and news and headlines shows so much. And, going right along with that, last week, the KD versus, I said versus, I guess it wasn't really a versus. It was like KD and Shannon Sharp had like another internet beef, but KD's having internet beef with everyone. So that was a true shocker. But the fact that that was like a running headline, around the NBA, and if you covered the NBA, like all KD's beef and stuff like that, just shows that no one really cares about your games right now. If you want to waste an hour or 2 hours or whatever watching some basketball player you probably don't even know, you can probably go to the park. Now, I'm not saying their level, because the lowest level basketball player is better than me or anyone at like the little local rec park here, but that's not what you make your money on. You make your money on, the flashy and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully, Anthony Davis and all these other people, LeBron, can get healthy again. Obviously, Jamal Murray tore his ACL, so he's out for the season, but they can get healthy and they can get back on the court and they can figure it out. They can completely figure it out, because the fact that all the leading stories of the NBA right now have absolutely nothing to do with the game is shocking. I mean, it's not really shocking, because if you see the game, you're like, they need to figure out something to talk about, because this is not good. I mean, Steph Curry's out here scoring 45, 38, all these crazy numbers, breaking Wilt Chamberlain's records and stuff. And you kind of maybe turn on their games to see if Steph's going to like score another 50 points, but you don't necessarily need to watch all 4 quarters to see if that's going to happen. You can just tune in at the end and figure it out, or scroll through Twitter and be like, okay, now I want to check it in. So for the sake of the league, they need to get it together. And also, that crazy schedule goes back to this play-in tournament that the fact that this play-in tournament is still on the table is completely insane to me. Players are actively saying out loud that this play-in tournament is ridiculous, that this schedule is ridiculous, that's why people are getting hurt. Like, the owners had to sign on and agree to this play-in tournament, because, that's all in their like collective bargaining agreements and all that fancy talk. Mark Cuban, he owns gajillions and billions of dollars, and he said that he, wouldn't mind if they came back and were like, okay, we're not going to do this. But all these other owners aren't going to do that, because, they're not big fans of their players. And I mean, I'm not saying all of them like hate their players and they don't appreciate them, but at the end of the day, it's the money, and people want to make money from it, and the NBA knows they can make money. they also know they need to make money for how much they lost over the pandemic and all that stuff. So I don't know. Like, I really need the NBA to get it together, because your top story for the past 3 weeks have been the NBA catfish of Lakers Twitter, KD and Dennis Schroeder getting mad at each other because Dennis Schroeder called KD an N-word. And the fact that that was even a topic just shows how bottom of the barrel they're scraping. And KD going off on everyone on Twitter, KD versus Shannon Sharp. Like, get it together, sweetie. We need to get it together, because this is just not cute. Now, all over the internet, people were talking about these spring games that these college teams are playing. And do people really watch them? Like, do you watch these spring games if you're just like a regular casual fan? Because I personally don't, because same team playing against each other. Like, the spring game is more for like the coaches and the players to like see, oh, who can play here, who can do this, who's like have the lead coming out of spring training or whatever they call it in college. For the fans, I guess it's like their benefit if you could like go to the game, but like you're sitting at home and you're watching this, like how much do like regular people that aren't like directly connected to these games feel about them? Because I feel like everyone was like, oh, this person here, or like the like quarterback for Alabama, like they were like, he did so great and he was amazing and this is the leading story here and blah 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 blah. Like, yeah, he did a good job, but again, he was playing against the people he's been playing against for like the past year and a half. You know, like is it really that noteworthy, or are y'all just really struggling for content right now? I mean, I'm not gonna blame you that you're really struggling for content right now, but I just don't see the hype over spring games. Like, if somebody can explain to me the hype over spring games for like regular people, then I would be more inclined maybe to watch them. Probably not, but you know, hey, we give everything a chance. But talking about Alabama, you know, the draft is coming up. It's next Thursday. Make sure you're tuned in over here, because we got great things coming out of that. Mac Jones, you know, is going into the draft. He's talked about all this stuff. Like, this man's PR team, his agent or whatever, they have, I know for a fact, had to spend so much money on his like draft stock campaign, because this man has been getting rave reviews from everyone in the sports industry about how good he's doing. I mean, it is bonkers how good they are talking about him on every platform, from like Get Up to Michael and whatever all those people on ESPN are doing. And they're bashing all the things that like he's done that are not too hot. Like, he has some DUIs, and if it was a player of color, especially a black player, who was in that same situation, like, would we really be giving them that much grace? Would we be burying that? I don't even think people are necessarily burying it. They're just not talking about it because it's Mac Jones. Like, they see him as like your neighborhood kid, their neighborhood quarterback that wants to do good. And again, no shame to Mac Jones. He's a great player. I'm pretty sure he's a great person. I'm gonna assume never met the man. Let that be, you know, Jalen Hurts from last year or Justin Fields from this year. That would be something everyone was talking about. I'm just saying, we gotta call it how it is, and people aren't talking about it for various reasons. And maybe his agent and him, himself, and all these other reporters have colluded together and decided to bury it and talk about other things. But we all know if it was someone else, they wouldn't be talking about it. But hey, live your life, do what you gotta do, Mac Jones. Now, I know this happened last week, and we cut last week's episode a little bit short because we were talking to Narissa for a long time. But Aaron Donald, his Incure thing, just every time I turn around, I feel like I'm in a different segment of this story, because it all started that Aaron Donald basically like punched this man. The man like gave him his drink, and Aaron Donald took it, and the man didn't mean it. And supposedly the accuser man said that Aaron Donald beat him up. Turns out, like a few days later, the like security cam footage comes out that Aaron Donald was trying to like help this man out. Like, he was trying to get the people off of him to stop punching him. And I just think that's so crazy, you know. Yes, if you saw the photos, you know that man had like a black eye, and his eye was basically like dangling from his face, how bad he got beat up. But this man was trying to help you, and you turned it as a get-rich-quick scheme. Like, come on now. You got to do better than that, homie. Aaron Donald isn't even one of those people in the NFL that, like, I would be like, oh, yeah, I want to, like, try to scam them for something. There's other people I would think of before I would get there. Again, I would personally never try to do it. But the list of people who I would, you know, attempt or even think about before Aaron Donald came up is so many people. Again, I wasn't shocked that at first they were like, oh, Aaron Donald beat this man up, and then you saw the photo of the man, you're like, oh, okay, like, if you seen Aaron Donald and you see how that man face looked, you're like, that's possible. if something went really crazy. But the fact that Aaron Donald was actually trying to help him out and he used it as a get rich quick scheme is just so low, especially in a panoramic. Like, come on now. We're just all out here trying to be better and do better and help each other out. And that's literally what Aaron Donald did. He helped him out and get the people that were beating him up off of it. So be kind to your neighbor. And when your neighbor is actually kind to you, be kind to them back and don't accuse them for battery and assault. Over the weekend, everyone was talking about this Ben Askren Jake Paul fight. And the fact that we're talking about influencer fights in mainstream sports media just shows how far we've come. May it be good or bad, but we've came far. And I personally just wanted to talk about it solely because everyone was like, oh my God, I can't imagine Ben Askren, or however you say his last name. He got knocked out within 5 seconds. I know he's so embarrassed. Or, back when Jake Paul fought Nate Robinson, oh, I know he's so embarrassed. These people got paid $500,000 to just get fake punched. Because if you saw it, it didn't look real at all. It didn't even look like Jake punched him at all. Ben Askren, now it kind of looked like Jake punched Nate Robinson. But I think Nate Robinson laid out on the floor, to really sync up that $500,000. If you were going to pay me $500,000 to fake fight you, and I looked quote unquote like an idiot on the internet, I'd take it in a heartbeat. I would not think twice about it, especially if I knew I got the cash up front, check cleared already before we went out there and got in the ring. Yes. In a heartbeat, any influencer, call me. I always leave all the contact information for Her Sports Convo in the episode notes and in the description down below. Come on now. Let me know in the comments or, on Instagram, like always, that if this situation happened to you, you wouldn't think about taking it. It's $500,000 to get fake punched. And all the people were playing, they were like, oh my God, I spent $50 to watch this awful fight. What did you really expect from Jake Paul and this Ben Askren man? Were you expecting a heavyweight battle? Did you think you were getting Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather? I'm confused. Everyone was shocked that it wasn't that great. They aren't real boxers, sweetie. I mean, the best part about all these boxes have been Snoop Dogg and his commentating. Again, I didn't pay $50 for it because I knew what this was for. I knew what it, I knew it was for the comments and the internet engagement or whatever. But live your life, do what you got to do, Jake Paul. I'm not condoning Jake Paul's actions, but hey, live your life. And Ben Askren, good for you. Take your business and get that cash because it's a hard knock life out here. It really is, and somebody got to profit off of it, right? That is going to be it for this week's episode. Make sure to like, comment, rate, subscribe wherever you decide to listen to your podcast at. Head on over to Instagram and follow at Her Sports Convo to stay up to date on all things Her Sports Convo. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Her Sports Convo. You know what it is. I post new videos up there every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and respond to comments for the first 30 minutes. I have a goal of getting 100 subscribers by our 1 year mark. And I think we can do it, y'all. I think we really can do it. And help me do that. It's a team thing. It's called a conversation because it's me and y'all. We're talking to each other. We're building a community. And the community we built just from the podcast is so amazing. And I've gotten to talk to so many people. And I've gotten to talk to a lot of you guys. Y'all are really interactive with me on Instagram. And you spend comments and DMs and stuff like that. So I just want to grow our conversation to have more people here. And I really think we can do that by reaching 100 subscribers on YouTube by September, our 1 year anniversary. So tell a friend, send them the episodes, send them a video or something or two, and let's just grow our conversation. As always, have fun, be safe, and don't be afraid to join the convo. They lock them doors and turn the lights down low. Oh my God, that was weird. I'm not gonna keep that in probably, but it's definitely okay. Here we go.